Hey, I'm Joe and welcome back to my channel. I wish you happy holidays. I hope you have a great time and I hope that you can eat a lot of nice stuff and in general just have a great time. And today's video is another challenge video, and the original one is from Emma Books, and it's, as the title says, it's about the history of your bookshelf. So the next few questions will be all about the books, like probably about like how my bookshelf grew over the time and what kind of books I read in what period of time. So I hope you enjoy this. The first book is David Copperfield by Charles Dickens. I don't know if they meant with oldest book like the actual book that is the oldest or the one that you got, like the first book ever you got. So I just went with the first one. So this book is from 1916. I got it from my grandpa. I think it's really neat. Like, I also have the second one, but since this is the first one, I think this is older. It may be even older, I'm not sure. It seems to be from a library, because wait, where was it? I don't know, but you have like this here, and I think that indicate that it's from a library. I'm not sure, but I guess it could be from a library or whatever. So since this says 1916, I think it is one of my oldest books that I own. The next book that I read in 2013 was Inkheart by Cornelia Funke. She is a German author and I absolutely love her books, or at least like the Inkheart and the Reckless series. You can't imagine how absolutely apeshit I went when I found out that Inkheart and Reckless play literally in the same universe, just like 500 years apart. I was like, what? That can't be true, but like it is. It says so on her official website. So, whew. And also recently there came out a new book by her, like from the Reckless series, and boy, I can't wait to read that. I need to buy it. It's like kind of like short stories, as far as I could tell. I need it. I need it so bad. The obligatory Cassandra Clare book in my videos. I really enjoyed it. Like, Magnus Bane is one of my favorite characters out of the entire series because it's just so fabulous. And yeah, and I read this book in German before, and then I bought it in English because the English version is just so much prettier than the German ones, even though one of my friends will disagree with me. But yeah, I just think the German ones are plain ugly. Then in 2015 I read the last book of the Selection series. I think I also read the other ones. No, I did not read the other ones. I did not read the other ones. I read the third one in 2015, and I think it was one of my favorite from from that year. In general, I like how Kira Cass writes. It's so easy to read and it's so pleasant. It's super nice to read, and I think I finished this one in like one evening. Like, I got home from choir practice, and then I went in the on the bus. I just started reading it, and then I was finished at maybe, not sure, maybe 10 p.m. when I got home at around 7. So yeah, it's just a really nice read and I like it a lot. Maybe I'm gonna reread this, just like for nostalgia purposes. I don't know yet, but it's so nice and they're so pretty. And there's also the siren one that she wrote that I also want to read, and that the betrothed whatever, like her new book that she is currently working on. I'm also really excited for that. The next book I read in 2016, I found it on a some book fair, and got it was so cheap. And it was the Malala Book, her biography, and this was amazing. Like literally everyone has to read it. This is so good. Like when I was a child, like I think when she got shot, I was 11. I think it was in 2011, right? So I was 11 as well. I was so shocked when I heard it, and then I forgot about it because I was fucking 11 and I had other things in my life. And then in 2016 I saw this and was like, oh my god, yeah, right, there was this girl, and I wanted to know about her life, like what led up to her being shot and so on, and how she coped with it, and it's amazing. It's really amazing, and it's also really nice to read, and you learn a lot about Pakistan and Pakistani people, and it's just a really interesting read. One of my favorites from 2017 was Girl on the Train, and I got this from my mom. Or did I? I'm fairly sure I got this from my mom. It's so cool. Like I always saw that in the bookstores for quite some time. I was like, oh well, that sounds nice, but I never got it for some reason. I don't know why, but now, well, then I got it, and I read this in probably 2 or 3 days just because it was that amazing. In 2018, I read The Cruel Prince by Holly Black, and honestly, I need to really read the series so bad. Maybe I'm gonna drop the ones I'm currently reading to just really read this one because it's amazing. I also got this Mati, like my internet booktuber friend. I got this for her for Christmas. And I hope she likes it. I so much hope that she enjoys this book because I want to talk to someone about it. And it's so good, and I liked it a lot, and it was just great. So I really hope that she likes it as well. Then it's the book for 2019. It's actually a manga, and I think in the probably last 2 years, like 2018 it started, like maybe 2017, but I started to actually like more cute stuff. Because before I was like, ew, that's so cute and so girly, and why would you like that? And then I just started to think like, well, why am I like this? Like, I'm allowed to like cute stuff, obviously. And then this year at a book fair, I discovered this manga. It's called as Misspelled Blacks, and I mentioned it in a previous video. It is the cutest. It doesn't really have like a storyline or whatever, or like at least the story is like very loose and it's very slow. But it's so adorable. Look at this. Also, she has like the biggest boob ever, and she's tiny. But it's adorable. Like the drawing style is so cute. Yeah. A book that I read more than once is Tiger Tiger by Melvin Burgess. And this book actually, I read it, I found this in the school library, and then I was like, oh my god, it is so cool, or it sounds so cool, so I got it. And I read it about, like, we got to have like the books from the school library for about 2 weeks, and in those 2 weeks I read this book about 10 times. Like, it's not that long. It has about 150 pages, so it's like really, like, 10 times in 2 weeks. It's absolutely manageable, and I think it was a grade 6 or 7, and also like like later I also got it like for another 2 weeks, and then I forgot to bring it back. I really forgot, and then they never said anything about it, and then I was like, yeah, well, I've got it for over half a year now, so it would be awkward to bring it back, so now I have Tiger. A book. I have several books that I had to wait for over a year to get it published. Mostly Cassandra Clare books, but I didn't want to mention her like that much because I also have other books. I only have actually other books on my bookshelf, so I thought, why not talk about something else? And it's the third Reckless book that I mentioned this series earlier in the video. And like this is the third one. And when I read the second one, I was like, oh my god, that can't be it. Like, this can't be the end of that series. So I googled it, or I rather had my mom Google it, because I wasn't that much on the internet back then. And then she was like, yeah, there's probably like a third one coming out at some point. And I think I've waited it at least felt like 2 years. I am not actually sure when they were being published, but I can check that in a second. It was actually 3 years. They're actually 3 years apart, so yeah. I waited a lot for this one, and it was so worth it. Also, I read that Cornelia Funke is working on the fourth book, and it's supposed to come out sometime soon because she's already like editing it for a second time, so maybe it's just like a year and then the next book comes out, and I really hope it does. I'm just like, this book series is like amazing. I love fairy tales, and this is like living in a fairy tale world, but like with some kind of action, whatever, like adventure action, and it's amazing. And I kind of want to live in the world of Reckless. Thing is that I'd like probably not make it over a week there. I'd probably get killed very soon, but I don't care. It would be worth it. It would honestly be worth it. So this book I read when we went to Paris in 2014, and it's The Hobbit from Tolkien, and it was so cute. I read this when we had to wait in the airport, or when we had like some time left in the evening, and I enjoyed it a lot. I actually enjoyed it way more than Lord of the Rings. Probably because like this is actually written for children, and a lot of things is not. Yeah, but I like it, and also like this version is so cute. There are so many beautiful versions of The Hobbit, and I need them all, but they're so expensive. Rip. Anyways, it was a nice read. A book that I got someplace special that is not my local bookstore is this one. I've talked about this already, but I don't know, it probably was last year? I think I got it last year, and my mom literally found it on the streets. It was sitting on in a window, probably because someone was like, yeah, well, I don't need it anymore, so I just kind of put it there, because apparently people do that. I do not like that if people just put their books random out in the open. Like, it's nice if it's like dry and like a sunny weather and stuff like that, then it's super nice. But if it's raining, then or like very humid, then it's not great because books do not like water. But yeah, I don't know actually what the English title from this is, and I'm not even sure what the author's real name is, because she also writes in, like, she also has a how do you call that in English, like pseudonym, like on a different name, and I'm not sure if like this is her actual name or if the other one that I found is her actual name. And also, like, this book has also some different titles, as so I'm so confused. It also isn't a book that I would have bought in a bookstore, because like it sounds nice, but it's not, it doesn't, from what you can read here on the back of the book, it doesn't sound as like capturing whatever. But it actually was a kind of nice read. This would also be like a good material for like a trilogy, but as far as I know, this is the only book, like it's a standalone, which is also nice, because if it's a trilogy, then you have to buy books, and you like, and like, yeah, yeah. But it was an okay read, I guess. So a book that made me cry is War Storm by Victoria Aveyard. And oh boy, I cried so hard. I knew I would cry, but I did not know I would cry that much. It was so emotional. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, what is going on? um, yeah, it's the third. It's Is it the third one? Yeah, yeah, it is the third one, because Broken Throne is the extra one. Is like the fourth. Yes, it is the third one. No, it is the fourth one. It is the fourth book. Yeah, it is the fourth one. I'm sorry. And it was so good. In general, like, the Red Queen series is God given. It is amazing, fabulous. Like, just I kind of insert that, like, that Lady Gaga meme where she's like incredible, amazing, groundbreaking. You know what I mean, right? Like that one. That is the series. It is so good. A book that I read in one sitting was this one here by Kirsten Gier. It's the third book in the we call it like Gemstone trilogy, like Ruby Red, Sapphire Blue, and like Emerald Green. Emerald Green, yeah, I think it was called this one. Anyways, it's the last one, and I got this for Christmas for my grandmother, like the whole trilogy, and then I read this in one sitting. I think maybe a week later, something like that. I like it a lot, and it's I don't know, it's a very popular. It was a very popular book when I read this, so I guess many people know this. But it's about time traveling, and it's so cool. It's a really nice one. It's also like Kirsten. I also tried then to read another Kirsten yearbook. I don't know what they are called. But I didn't enjoy them that much, and I was so sad, because like her writing style here is amazing. It's so cool, and I probably think I will like this. Maybe not forever, but I think that's like a book that I would also give my children to read, just because it's so cool. Even though, like, if I would give it to a boy, it looks like a girlish. Um, but that's not a reason to not read a book. This book is Safe Haven from Nicholas Sparks. I recently read that he counts as a problematic author, and I did not know that. Uh, I got this from my internet bestie Matti. I don't know that much about it anymore, because it was some time ago. So I can't remember if there's like any like problematic things in here. But I just know that I really enjoyed it. It was like kind of fucked up, but it's more because if you're not familiar with this book, it's about a woman that flees an abusive relationship and tries to start a new life. And like the fucked up part is like the abuse that she had to go through. I think it was well written from what I can recall, and I don't know if I'm even correct that Nicholas Sparks is like a problematic author, but I think I read something about that. But I still wanted to include that because I enjoyed this one. A book that I read before I owned it is this one here. It's Shiver by Maggie Stiefvater. I borrowed it from my best friend, and actually like on her Kindle, and I was like super honored that she actually gave me her Kindle because like that's fucking expensive, you know, and then like she just like gives it to me so I can read it, so like that's some trust right there. And yeah, and then I saw it for like each book for like €5. I think it's actually already a year ago, and then I just bought all 4 of them. And yeah, well, I wanted to reread them, but I still haven't. And yeah, I know I should, but I just keep buying new books, and I never actually get to read the ones that I already own. So I maybe should stop that. The book that I lent to someone else was this beauty here. It's George R. R. Martin's first book of the Song of Ice and Fire series, and I lent it to a friend because they always wanted to read it, but as far as I know, they never had like the first one at the library because it was always checked out because it's the Song of Ice and Fire. So I lent them the book, and they actually liked it, but they, for some reason, they didn't got past book 3, which I also can kind of understand because like 10 books is like it's like a lot, but also it's so good I literally couldn't stop reading it. Like, I binged it. It was amazing. Yeah, but like they really took care of this book and it got back to me in one part, so that's nice. Unlike the previous book that got back to me in one piece, this one did not. My again internet bestie Manti sent this to me for Christmas, I think, on my birthday. I can't remember. Anyways, for whatever occasion, and it came to me damaged, and she was so sad and she was so sorry, and I was like, but it wasn't her fault. It was just like from like got damaged from delivery. Like here, like this is damaged, and this as well, and here, I think here as well a little bit. Yeah, and that was really sad because like this edition is so beautiful, and I recently saw that they also had like the second one in like this 10-year special edition. No, it was the Copperfield one. That was the special edition. Whatever. And they are so beautiful and they're shiny. So cute. Yeah. You know, I'm stuck for her, and I'm like, oh, she's so amazing. I'm sorry. But like, I really like this, and like all those tiny details here, just splendid. The next book that I got on discount, actually it's the second one in that series, but I just don't have it with me at the moment, so you have to bear with me with the first one. It's the Hall's Moving Castle series. Like the first one, I don't know if that actually counts as a discount because it's more like it was a birthday gift from a friend, but I got it for free, so like technically is that some kind of discount? I don't know. Anyways, like the second one I got on a discount, and the third one it wasn't bought new, so but like the second one was on a discount, and yeah, it is a nice read. That was really sweet yet kind of confusing. So I gotta reread it. And like I'm currently reading the second one that's like actually the book that I'm talking about that got the discount. But it's at my boyfriend's, so I can't show you the book, sadly. I was so confused because I thought that the whole trilogy was about Howl and Sophie, and then it wasn't. and I was so disappointed that I read the first chapter of the second book, and then I just stopped reading for I think like 3 months, and then I picked it up a week ago, and then started reading, and it's actually cool. I was just like so sad because in Howl's Moving Castle there are so many unanswered questions, and I'm like, why would you do that? I need answers. Yeah, but I don't think they're coming, so yeah, sucks. A book that I read with someone else, like a buddy read or whatever, was The Book Thief. I read this with a then friend, and then I read it again with Mati. Like, I do so much book stuff with her. It's actually amazing. Yeah, or at least we said that we would read it together. I'm not sure if she actually read the book. Did you read the book, Mati? Please tell me. I really can't remember if you read this book. Yeah, but it was really cool. I talked about this a lot. I think did I actually dedicate a whole video to that one, or at least a big junction of a video? I think I did at some point. So a book that I associate with a song is this one. It's the series is called Flavia de Luc. I don't know how you pronounce her name, because that name doesn't sound British, but it takes place in Britain after the World War, the Second World War. I don't know how to pronounce the name. Like, have a look. I don't know if it's like Italian, because it does sound Italian. Also, it could also be French, so I'm not taking any chances here. I always pronounce it Flavia de Luc, and it would drive my mother insane because she pronounced it Flavia de Luce. But it's written by Alan Bradley, and it's a cool series, and I enjoyed them very, very much. And this book is, I associate actually not with a song, but with a whole album of a German band. They're called Kraftklub, and the album that I would listen to on repeat while I read the book, also actually I think the whole series, it was the first one of that band is called Mit K. And yeah, it was cool. It was a cool time, but I think it drove my parents insane just because I non-stop listened to that album for at least 2 months. Yeah, that were really some good times. Then there's actually another question that I'm leaving out. What book do you associate with a certain food? But I really do not have a book that I associate with a certain food. It's just like, I don't. I really thought about it. I thought hard about it, but I don't know. There is no food that I associate with any book. Anyways, a book that I bought years ago that I wouldn't buy now is this one. It's called Level 9 by David Morrell. I bought it because I was going on a holiday, and I finished the book that I had with me already, but I also had another week there, so I went to like a grocery store that for some reason also sold books at that time. Grocery stores here used to do that. They don't do that anymore, and that they were usually like some kind of like cheap books, you know, that is also very damaged. Yeah, I don't know if you can actually like see. Yeah, here. It's really damaged, so it was cheap as fuck. It was like it's a thriller, and it was severely fucked up, and definitely nothing I should have read at that age. I think it was about 13, 12? No, I was not 12. I was like 14, 13, something like that. And yeah, I wouldn't buy that now, because now I'm like always prepared. I always have at least 3 books with me. So I do not run out of books. I simply do not. A book that I associate with a certain time of my life is the Harry Potter series. I associate that with my time in elementary school, especially like in the 3rd and 4th grade. I can remember sitting at a window at the thing where you go like after school when you're not going home, and you're playing with your friends there. And yeah, in German it's called Hort, but I'm not sure. I don't even know if that is a thing in other countries. Whatever, you just go there and leave at a certain time, or your parents get you, so that you're like not home alone. That's cool. Whatever, I always read some books at some point, and then I read Harry Potter, and I loved it so much, and I stayed up all night reading. And then in like the after school activities, then I would always sit there and read the Harry Potter series, I couldn't stop. It was addicting, which also makes me so sad because of the recent J.K.R. Rowling. Well, I wouldn't call it scandal because we've been new, honestly, but that made me really sad because she had the potential to be such a good influence for young children, and then she turned out to be such a unpleasant person. But that doesn't mean that I can't enjoy Harry Potter anymore, because I can separate from the actual book. Yeah, I associate that very strongly with my time in elementary school. Yeah, I don't think I have any more to say to Harry Potter, which is amazing. So then a book that I enjoyed when I read it, but I do not anymore, is this one. It's from Susan Elizabeth Phillips. I don't know what the exact English title is, but like the German, like the translation from German is like "Keep on Dreaming, Darling." And it was so, like, when I read it, I got it for my grandma actually, and she did not read it before she gave it to me. And then it's about a woman that for some reason is driving around with her car, and it breaks down in like a small city, and then in that small city she actually is like settling down and start to live there, and of course she has to work. So she works in a car wash. I remember. She is working in the car wash because she can't pay the car repair, so she's working there like to kind of pay off her debt. Then there's like some rather explicit sex scene in there, and I read when I was like 11 or 12. As I'm repeating, my grandmother that gave me this book did not know what was in there at that time, because it sounds rather harmless on the back of the book. But it was not. It also, if I remember it correctly, I'm not mixing it up, it has a weird plot twist that but at the time I was like, yeah, well, it's nice, but then I started to like remember it at some point. Like, do you know when you just like randomly just something pops up in your head and like, oh my god, what? That was this book. By now I just kind of wanted to like get rid of it, but I don't like just like throwing books away, so I wanted to sell them, but no one wants to buy this book. Yeah, so I'm gonna put it like maybe like in either to the library or whatever. The newest one on my bookshelf is actually only 2 days old, or at least I bought it 2 days ago, and it's a manga. It's called Mika's Magic Market. It is another like a witchy manga, because for some reason I adore them lately, and I also already read it. I bought it because I was on a Christmas market with my boyfriend on Sunday, and then it was like I don't know if that's just like a German thing, but sometimes like our stores do not have they are not opened on Sundays at all. Like I don't think like any stores like really open all. Yeah, but that's like sometimes like in the Christmas time they make an exception. And that was that day, so I was like, oh my god, I need to go to the bookstore, I need to go to the bookstore. And I was like just like browsing the shelves, and it was so amazing, and so many cool books. And I found like at least like 5 other books that I want to read. And then I saw this, and just look at it. It's so sweet. Yeah, I also already read it, and I can confirm it is sweet. And so it's like the 3rd manga that I own that it's about witches. Yeah, but I mean, one can never have enough witches in their life, so I can't wait for the next parts. But I think this one came out this year. Like, oh, I never know where it says when it was published. Ah, here. Yeah, like this, like German version was published in 2019, so I probably have to wait for quite some time before the next one comes out, but I don't care. So yeah, that's it. That was the video. I'm so glad you made it to the end. I'm proud of you. I hope you enjoy this. I'm gonna link the original video down below. Also, will put the questions down in the description box if you want to do that challenge as well. I hope you enjoyed it, and have a nice day. Bye!